South Florida flash flooding. South Florida has been battling severe flooding due to a recent tropical system that has dumped up to 20 inches of rain in some areas. Governor Ron DeSantis shared the latest updates on Friday morning, highlighting the efforts to move the floodwaters and restore normalcy. Speaking from a Hollywood fire station, DeSantis praised the combined efforts of state, local, and county teams. The governor mentioned that South Florida had experienced a very dry spell before this deluge, which added to the challenge as the area couldn't handle the sudden and massive influx of water. The National Weather Service in Miami issued warnings for excessive rainfall on Friday, indicating a significant risk of flooding in Broward and Miami-Dade counties. This risk remained high into the afternoon and evening, with the potential for flooding severe enough to impact structures. Palm Beach County, while not as heavily affected, still saw significant rainfall, with the highest totals recorded in Loxahatchee at over 10 inches. Several areas experienced considerable rainfall. Boca Raton with 813 inches, Lantana with 751 inches, and Delray Beach with 734 inches. Other notable totals included Wellington, Royal Palm Beach, and Jupiter, each receiving over 6 inches of rain. On Wednesday, an F1 tornado struck Hobe Sound and Jupiter Island, causing further disruption. The tornado, with winds up to 95 mph, uprooted trees and left a path of debris 17 miles long. The National Hurricane Center is also monitoring other tropical disturbances, including one off the southeastern U.S. coast and another in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, both of which have the potential to develop into named storms. Southwest Florida faces continued risk of heavy rainfall, with forecasts predicting an additional 2 to 4 inches of rain. This region has already received between 8 to 14 inches, exacerbating the flooding situation. Many areas remain submerged, and Florida Department of Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie advised residents to document any damage before beginning cleanup. He also stressed the importance of avoiding downed wires and contaminated floodwaters. State agencies have been mobilized to assist with recovery. DeSantis highlighted that state personnel and pumps were dispatched to South Florida as soon as rainfall totals began to rise. By Wednesday afternoon, Interstate 95 at Interstate 595 was closed due to flooding, with crews working tirelessly to clear the water and reopen the roads. In response to the flooding, DeSantis declared a state of emergency for Broward, Collier, Lee, Miami-Dade, and Sarasota counties. This declaration aims to expedite the provision of resources and support to the affected areas. Reflecting on the flooding, DeSantis noted that while this event has caused significant disruption, it has not resulted in the same level of damage as last year's flash flood in Fort Lauderdale. He attributed this to improved preparedness and response efforts. South Florida airports, though experiencing delays, managed to remain operational, unlike last year's event which led to runway closures at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. As the state continues its recovery efforts, DeSantis emphasized the importance of local communities in managing growth and development to mitigate future flooding risks. He mentioned the Resilient Florida program, which provides grants for municipalities to improve their infrastructure and resilience against flooding and sea level rise. This program has allocated $0.8 billion since its inception in 2021, benefiting numerous communities across Florida. In a lighter moment, DeSantis expressed hope that recovery efforts would allow residents to celebrate the Florida Panthers' potential Stanley Cup victory. Despite the ongoing challenges, the sense of community and resilience remains strong. Forecasters indicate that while more rain over the weekend could trigger isolated flooding, the worst is over. The past week has seen relentless storms dump up to 20 inches of rain, primarily affecting areas south of the Treasure Coast. Governor DeSantis' declaration of a state of emergency underscores the severity of the situation, with standing water still present in some Miami and Fort Lauderdale neighborhoods. The governor surveyed the damage on Friday, noting that the state has deployed around 100 pumps to aid in clearing the floodwaters. Florida Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie reported no destroyed homes and minimal severely damaged homes. Remarkably, no deaths or serious injuries have been reported. The governor mentioned that while the damage might not warrant a federal disaster declaration, there may be enough impact on businesses to qualify for Small Business Administration assistance. The flooding has led to significant disruptions, including delayed flights and stranded vehicles in low-lying areas. Ted Rico, a local tow truck driver, described the scene as reminiscent of a zombie movie, with cars abandoned on sidewalks, medians, and streets. Rico, who grew up in Miami, noted that such events are becoming increasingly severe each year. In Aventura, north of Miami, longtime resident Juan Gomez shared his experience of the flooding. His rental unit was heavily impacted, with water damaging furniture, kitchen cabinets, and floors. Gomez emphasized the need for better preparation, such as acquiring sandbags and other supplies, to mitigate future flooding. This week's storm system coincided with the start of hurricane season, which is expected to be highly active. Concerns about climate change's role in increasing storm intensity remain prevalent. In response to the flooding, various state departments have mobilized resources. The Florida Division of Emergency Management has deployed pumps, flood protection systems, and personnel to the affected areas. The Florida Department of Transportation has also been active, clearing roadways and drainage systems to ensure accessibility and safety. Emergency management teams continue to coordinate with local agencies to provide necessary support. Efforts include the deployment of law enforcement, health services, and environmental protection resources. The state is also working to ensure adequate fuel supplies and food safety in the impacted regions. The Florida State Guard and other volunteer organizations are providing essential services, from debris removal to emergency medical support. The Department of Elder Affairs is addressing the needs of the elderly population, while the Department of Health monitors drinking water safety. As South Florida grapples with the aftermath of unprecedented flooding, the combined efforts of state and local teams are vital in restoring normalcy. Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency, deploying resources and personnel to the hardest-hit areas, including Broward, Collier, Lee, Miami-Dade, and Sarasota counties. The swift response from the Florida Department of Emergency Management, Department of Transportation, and other state agencies has been commendable, with pumps and flood protection systems being mobilized to clear waterlogged streets and neighborhoods. Residents are urged to remain vigilant, document any damages, and avoid contact with potentially contaminated floodwaters. Thank you for tuning in to this update. We'll keep you posted with the latest developments. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with InfoBurst. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.